magnetic force. Okay, so we have already seen in electrostatics what is going to happen when there are two charges that are present, then they are going to exert force on each other, right? If they are like charges, then they are going to experience a repelling force. Okay, and if they are unlike charges, one is plus q and the other say it is minus q, then they are going to experience an attractive force. Okay, so this is when there are two charges. In general, what do we say? When there is an electric field, right? Let's say this is the electric field. Here we are taking a uniform electric field, but there can be non-uniform electric field as well. Okay, so if a charged particle is present in the electric field, if it is a positive charge, it is going to experience force in the direction of the electric field, right? That is the very definition of the electric field lines. Okay, so in a similar manner, when there is a magnetic field, okay, let us say there is a magnetic field of flux density B bar. Okay, in this magnetic field there is a charged particle, say charge is plus q. Okay, and it is moving with already it is moving with some velocity. Okay, so in this case, when there is a velocity, then the charge will experience a magnetic force given by Fm. So m is subscript m is magnetic force. Fm is q into V bar cross B bar, the cross product. Okay, so remember, the force will be present only when there is a velocity. So if there is a stationary particle, there is not going to be any magnetic force on it. So the magnetic force experienced by a charge q moving with velocity v bar in magnetic field B bar is given by this expression. Okay, so one thing that you have to notice here is the magnetic force cannot perform any work. Okay, so why is that the case? If you can see the velocity cross the magnetic field, right? So what will be the resultant force direction? It will be perpendicular to both V bar and B bar, right? So if the force is perpendicular to the velocity, it means the force will always act at right angles to the motion. It will always be perpendicular to the direction of motion. So when that is perpendicular, what is the dot product? F dot x is going to be 0. Okay, so for that reason the work done by magnetic force is 0. Okay, so this is an important point. Fm bar cannot perform any work because it will be at right angles to direction of motion. Okay, now let us say there is an electric as well as a magnetic field. Okay, then what will be the resultant, the total force? Okay, so that is given by the Lorentz force of equation. The force experienced by a moving charge q in presence of electric field E bar and magnetic field B bar is given by F bar is equal to Fe bar due to the electrostatic field plus Fm bar. Okay, so therefore you are going to get F bar is equal to Q E bar plus Q V cross B bar. So what is the final expression that you are going to get? You can take out the charge common, right? It is a scalar quantity, so Q you can take out common E bar plus V bar cross B bar. So this expression, this is called as the Lorentz force equation. Now we discuss the force on a moving charge. But whenever there is a moving charge, okay, what will it give rise to? It will give rise to the current, right? Current is nothing but the rate of flow of charge. So mathematically you write it as I is equal to dq by dt. So now we will see if the current is given, we don't know the charge, now the current is given. So then what will be the force? What will be the expression for force? So let's say there is a current carrying conductor carrying a current I, and the length of the conductor is L. Okay. So in this case the force can be written as F bar is equal to I L bar cross B bar. Okay. If you are taking the differential current element, okay, differential force due to a differential current element. Okay, because all of the current carrying conductors are not going to be straight lines. Okay, so if it is not in a straight line, then you first have to find out the differential force and then integrate it. Okay, so in that case we can take the differential force due to a differential current element. In that case dF bar is equal to I dL bar cross B bar, and from here you can integrate on both sides to get the final force, the total force. Okay, so line integral I dL bar cross B bar. Okay, so this is a more general expression. Now say current we have in terms of surface current, okay, or volume current. Volume current is the current density. Okay, in that case how do we find out the force? Okay, so in the case of surface current K bar, okay, you can write the differential force as dF bar is equal to K bar ds into B bar, and the total force is going to be surface integral. Remember here we have the surface integral. Okay, K bar ds bar cross B bar. Okay, so this is for the surface current. Now let's take the volume current element, that is J bar. Okay, so this is going to be dF bar is equal to integral J bar dV cross B bar. So it means that the total force is equal to the volume integral J bar dV cross B bar. Okay. Next we are going to see what is the force between two current carrying conductors. So if you take two current carrying conductors, let us say this is one conductor, this is the second conductor. Okay, so current, let us say here it is I1, here it is I2. Now because of this current I1, there is going to be a magnetic field produced like this. This is the magnetic field due to I1. So let us say this is B1 bar. What is the direction? It will be in this direction. So you can get the direction applying the right hand rule. So if you see from the top, from this direction, then the magnetic field will be concentric circles whose direction is in the counterclockwise sense. Now this magnetic field will extend till I2, right? There will be, you can draw a magnetic field which will link I2. So now the second conductor, it is in the influence, under the influence of a magnetic field B1 bar. Okay, so a current element in a magnetic field, it will have some force. Okay, so what is that force? Similarly, because of I2, there is going to be a magnetic field B2. So B2 will exert a force on the current carrying conductor 1. Okay, so you can write here both conductors will create magnetic field, right, because a current is flowing through them. So I1 will experience a force due to magnetic field B2 bar, which is produced by I2, which is produced by current I2. Okay. Similarly, I2 or conductor 2 will experience force due to magnetic field B1 bar produced by current I1. So let us see what will be the magnitude of the magnetic field. From Ampere's law you can get mu naught I by 2 pi r. What is r here? R is the distance between the two conductors. So here you can represent r, right? This is the magnetic field due to an infinite line. Now what will be the magnitude of force? So we are considering only the magnitude here. Magnitude of force on I2. So this is I2L L bar cross B bar. Okay. But if you see, the length is in one direction and the magnetic field, the circles, if you see the circles, they are going to be perpendicular to this line. So if you take this as z axis, then these circles will be in the xy plane. Okay. So B bar is always tangential, so it will be lying in the xy plane. So L bar and B bar will always be perpendicular. Okay. So the magnitude of force you can simply write as B I2L, since L bar and B bar are perpendicular to each other. So here this is B1 bar. So now what is B1, magnitude of B1? This is already we have taken. So you just have to substitute here. So you are going to get the expression mu naught I1 I2 L by 2 pi r. This is the magnitude of the force that is experienced by conductor 2. In a similar manner, even if you find out F1 bar, you are going to get the magnitude is going to be the same. Okay. Now we will see what about the direction. So if you take conductor 2, so here the current flowing is I2. So this vector I2 bar will be in the upward direction, right? So we will take I2 L bar in this direction. Now what about the direction of the magnetic field? So this is the first conductor I1. So what will be the required magnetic field? The one which is touching the second conductor. So at this point, what will be the direction of the magnetic field? It is going to be tangential to the circle, right? So if you see, it is into the plane. Okay. So here you can draw the direction of magnetic field is into the plane. This is B1 bar. Okay. Now if you apply the right hand cross rule, so from I2 L bar you have to wind your fingers towards B1 bar. So what will be the force direction? It is going to be in this direction. F2 bar is going to be towards the left side. Okay. In a similar manner, I1L bar is going to be in the upward direction. And what about the magnetic field? It is going to be something like this. Okay. So here in this case, the magnetic field is going to be coming out of the plane. Okay. So you can draw, this is the magnitude, this is the direction of the magnetic field B2 bar. So now if you keep your 4 fingers in the direction of I1L and you wind it towards B2, then you are going to get what is the force direction? You are going to get it towards the right side. Okay. So when the currents are in the same direction, F1 bar and F2 bar are such that they are experiencing an attractive force, right? This conductor is getting attracted towards conductor 2, this conductor is getting attracted towards conductor 1. Okay, so that is the important point here. When currents are in same direction, the conductors will experience a attractive force. And if currents are in opposite direction, then conductors will experience a repelling force. Okay.